The transformations in this show are so well done. Specifically, we gotta talk about Jason Clarke as Alec Murdaugh.
God, this is Alec Murdaugh. I need police and an ambulance immediately.
What was both of your reaction the first time you saw him on set in character? No prosthetics, he gained all that weight.
This is such a credit to Jason. He didn't really break character a lot when we interacted, and I think he did that for my benefit because I was very scared of him. Because I was like, oh my God, like is he gonna introduce himself like in his Australian accent, or no, is he gonna be like, and so it was very nerve-wracking. He later on, after meeting him, he did become Australian and like normal, like Jason. But at first, I think he did that to kind of intimidate me, and a lot of our beginning scenes, there's like those shots where we're kind of looking at each other, and it was very helpful because I was terrified.
I'm the one that's gotta do it, not you! Me!
I was stunned with physical reactions, sweating. I've seen Alex Murdaugh in person several times. I felt more intimidated by Jason Clarke as Alex Murdaugh than Alex Murdaugh himself because he had such a presence. He became Alex Murdaugh on set. He had that like bombastic giant personality that's intimidating.
Y'all know me. I'm an honest man. Oh, you cheating bastard. It's only cheating if you get caught.
There was one point when I saw Jason and he was rehearsing lines on set, and I walked past him and we both did that like stare, and I don't know if he realized that it was me, but he gave me like a scowl, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so scary.
And like he did that to me too. He must have done that on purpose.
It must have been in character. No, I took no offense to it. I was like, wow, he's really in character. This is so impressive.
Yeah, Jason gained about 40 pounds and even shaved his eyebrows to play the real-life lawyer turned killer in Murdaugh, Death in the Family, streaming on Hulu and Disney+. The series follows Alec's secret, drug-fueled life of crime and corruption, leading to the murders of his son Paul and his wife Maggie, played by Patricia Arquette.
We got to have each other's backs. Family first.
Brittany Snow is Mandy Matney, a journalist who spent years on the case for her hit Murdaugh Murders podcast. Her in-depth reporting inspired the series.
I'm working on a story. The Murdaughs have a history of trying to cover things up.
I've researched the story for a long, long time because I was familiar with the story. I've listened to Mandy's podcast years before this. And so I was already so ready and readily available to know even more. And I think what was exciting and important for me was getting to know Mandy and studying not only like how she moves and how she talks, but also what she believed in, how she was feeling during that time, what she was scared about, how she, had her office desk. I mean, all those little things were important to me to know and to really, encapsulate this essence that I would create. But more than anything, I was just excited to pick her brain on, I think I asked you multiple times, like, how did you know this was going to take the turns it did? And what inspired you to make sure that you never let this go? And because she built a lot of her story on instinct and just knowing that this would take a drastic turn, unfortunately. And so I was really excited to get to learn all that and honored at the same time.
The Murdaughs tell you not to talk to me. They have connections all the way up to the governor. I think we've only scratched the surface of what's going on here.
How did you guys all decide what to include, what to have to dramatize?
I will give props to Aaron Lee Carr and Michael D. Fuller. One of the best decisions of my entire life was pairing up with them, and we met a lot of people in 2021 that wanted their hands on this story and wanted to do this basically, and Michael and Aaron always approached it from a very sincere, victim-focused way, and I was so impressed by that. But because we picked really good partners, I could step back and I didn't have to tell them, like, make sure you focus on this and don't make this up. Just let it happen. And I think they made a masterpiece. I'm very proud of what they did.
Be careful. These are very, very powerful people.
If real life we've got left of the Murdaugh family, Buster or Alec, were to watch the series, what do you think they would, or what do you hope they would take away from this?
I don't want to think about, like, especially what Alex Murdaugh would think about the show. But I think with Buster's story, a lot of care and concern went into making him a whole person and his character. I think a lot of the media coverage of Buster and Maggie and Paul and so many people in this show was very one-dimensional, and I feel like the show does a really good job of exploring the real characters there.
There still is an appeal going on for Alec in his trial. How much more pressure did that add, knowing it's still kind of in flux, this story?
I mean, luckily for me and for playing Mandy, I mean, I got to really zero in on the fact that she was the truth. I mean, that she spearheaded the truth, and that was her, only viewpoint in this whole thing is that she knew what was right and wrong. And so there's not a lot of morally gray area with Mandy because she's sort of like on a mission to bring light to the facts. And so I think that it's not, I don't think we're concerned about an ongoing case because she and I are reporting the facts.
Yeah, and he's gonna be in prison forever. Like, there are many, many layers of, if this happens, he'll still be in prison here for this, because he's dozens and dozens of charges that he's been convicted of. And so at the end of the day, and I don't think that the appeal has any, I'm not worried.
These Murdaugh men, you have to sacrifice a lot of things to make them the men that you know that they can be.
You better get ready.
This here's to the Murdaughs. Long may we live.
Amen.